What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm sitting down to share with you guys my summer recommendations for reading and also my current summer to be read pile. I'm excited. It's been forever since I've done like a book video, mostly just because the only books I've been reading are textbooks. But I love reading, and now that I don't have every single second of the day doing something else or something to do every second of the day, I really want to get back into my reading grind. So I thought this would be a super fun little video. And so let's just jump right in. I have a lovely pile of books here, and these are my, let's see, we've got 6 books. And I'm going to talk to you about them all right now. But first, I want to start off by sharing my summer TBR pile, because I feel like, these are books I have not read, and so if you've read these books, let me know what you guys think, if they are good summer books. So the first one that I have literally has summer in the title, and it is The Summer of Broken Rules. So this book is about Meredith Fox, who loses her sister Claire and kind of shuts everybody out, but she's like determined to kind of like come back out into the world again. So she goes on a family vacation to a vineyard. And yeah, I think it's gonna be, she like falls in love and kind of like breaks her rules. So I don't know, I think it's like, it sounds like a perfect summer little rom-com, not rom-com, like a summer love story. So Summer of Broken Rules is definitely first up on my list. I also have the sequel to Things We Never Got Over, which is Things We Hide from the Light. I'm really excited to read this book because I read Things We Never Got Over so quick. Like, I read the entire book in a day. And this has been on my shelf. It is like literally collecting dust because I have had it forever and I still have not read it. I don't know how, but I'm very excited to read this book. Kind of nervous because I've heard mixed things, but also look at, I've got a little cactus on my ring. And then next up on my list, I have Golden Girl. So yeah, I have heard mixed things about this. Everybody really likes this book, and it's been recommended to me like 1,010,000 times. So we'll see. But I mean, it's literally people on a beach. It's giving a summer book. Let me know what you guys thought about this one. I have a feeling it's not going to be a one-day read, but you never know. You never know. Anything is possible. And then last up, I have Beach Read. So as you can see, we're following a theme here of summer books. I'm really excited about this book because it is by Emily Henry, and I love her and I love her books, and I feel like I'm excited to read this. I've actually heard that this is like the best book that she's written, because one of the books I'm going to talk about is by her, and it's like one of my favorite books of last year that I read. So we'll see. But Beach Read by Emily Henry. Those are the only 4 books. I think I have a book by Carly Fortune in my beach bag right now, but to be honest, it's just really hard to like stay focused or find the time to read, especially in nursing school, because you're just literally always doing something. So 4 books is like a good goal for me to read before the end of summer. I consider summer to be August, so I'll probably be reading those books in August now that it's like July is almost over. But I really want to share with you guys my favorite recommendations. If you guys are, what is happening to my face? So let's talk about the books that I recommend if you guys are going to hang by the beach. Some of these might be a little bit different. I'm trying to like cover different genres, but the first book I recommend is Things We Never Got Over. I wouldn't say this has like a very summer feel to it, but I feel like it has a small town feel to this book, and it's basically about this girl. She's got a twin sister, and she shows up in this town, and everybody thinks it's the twin sister, and nobody likes the twin, but it's not. And it definitely has like a cute little romance. They're a little bit older in this book, and I just think it's like super sweet. I was very intimidated by the thickness of her, but I had no issues reading this book at all. Like, I loved it. I honestly think it made my top 3 of 2022. So if you're looking for something for the pool or a beach, I feel like this is a good book. Like I said, Like I said, I wouldn't say it has a super summery feel to it, but I do think that the romance in it and the small town vibe, it just kind of gives me like, I don't know, I imagine it taking place in like the summer a little bit. Maybe not. It probably honestly takes place in like the fall or something, and I'm totally making this up, but I don't know. Next up, this book is not like a romance, but I think it's like a good book if maybe you're traveling for the summer and you want to read something on the plane, if you are looking for something that's maybe, it's a little bit heavier, I guess, if that makes sense. But it literally takes place in Malibu. So I felt like it had to make the summer must read, good summer books to read. So I really like this. It takes place at the end of the summer. Like I said, if you're looking for something that's like, I personally felt like it was a heavier read, not in the sense of like something crazy traumatic was going on in it, but I definitely felt like I had to be like super involved. I read this on a plane ride. But yeah, it's about a family, and I like it because I read a lot of romance before I read this, and I thought the dynamic of the book was super different than anything I'd read before. So if you're kind of looking to maybe like switch it up a little bit, but you want to stay on that theme of summer, while there is a few like love aspects of the book, I don't feel like the primary focus is about love. I feel like it's about family. So Malibu Rising definitely took me like some time to read, but it's a really great book and I could not recommend enough. And it does say on the back, it's the day of the annual end of summer party. So it's really good, a little hard to follow along, definitely have to be like engaged. So drinking on the beach and reading this one, I don't think it's happening, but you do you. And then this book is one of my favorite books I ever read. I started this one morning in bed and I just didn't leave. Like, I read it so quick. I loved it. And it is the perfect summer book if you are looking for a romance, and that is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I loved this book. It goes back and forth in like time perspectives, and oh my God, I just freaking loved this book. Could not talk enough about it. So it's about a girl, she goes back home, and their connection it's just still there, and something happened and we don't really know what happened, so you kind of figure out what happened throughout the book. But like, I'm telling you, I read this book in a couple of hours. It was so good. Like, highly recommend if you're going to the beach for a day, read this book. I am reading another book by her. Like I said, it's in my beach bag, so I'm a big fan of her. This was the first book I read by her. And I just thought it was like a really sweet story. Definitely like a second chance romance. So if that's your thing, could not recommend enough if you guys haven't read it yet. All right, this one definitely has like a summer beach vacation kind of mood to it, but it is a mystery. It's not a romance. I also read this one on a plane. I wouldn't say it was like my favorite book of the year, but if you like a little mystery, it's probably my least favorite book out of all of these. But I mean, if you want to like give something if you want like a suspenseful read, I think it's a good book, and it did keep me engaged. I read like the entire thing on the plane. I read, and I couldn't put it down, but I personally just like, I don't know how I felt about the ending. You guys, if you read it, you'll have to let me know. I feel like that's why you can kind of tell I'm like a little bitter about it. Yeah, I'm a little bit weird about the ending. Like I said, I think you guys will just have to let me know. It is about a couple that is on their honeymoon, and they go on this trip and they go out on this like scuba diving adventure, and they find something in the water. And then it's kind of just like their mystery together. So I like the dynamic between the two of them. It was a super suspenseful read. You definitely are kind of like hooked and you want to know like what's going on, and there's all these things that keep coming out. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like, one of these says it's a terrifying morality tale to keep you up at night. Thrilling, perfect beach read. I would say like it is like dramatic. It didn't keep me up at night though. So, but I did read it on a plane, and I did read it in one day. So I feel like if I'm reading a book in one day, it's definitely suspenseful. I'm just butthurt about the ending. Like, I personally didn't like the way the story played out, but that's just my opinion. I don't think it's badly written. It's just I personally was not a huge fan of the way it ended, but I'm not going to discredit a book just because I'm a little butthurt about the ending. So something in the water, if you're looking for something that is a summery feel, it takes place in Bora Bora, very tropical, and it does have a couple. I wouldn't say it's super heavy on the romance though at all. So if you're looking for a break from that, this might be a really great book for you to check out. And it's by Catherine Stedman. Okay, this book literally made me LOL. I loved this book. I am like, listen, when I'm picking up a book, I want to enjoy myself. I want to escape. I want to take a little like trip, okay, someplace else. And this book did that for me. I loved this book. I've heard mixed reviews about it. Everybody kind of puts it like in middle tier or like towards the lower end, but personally, I was eating it up. I was like, I would read this again. I've been trying to read another book by her and it's not really going super well. I wouldn't say I'm like successful in that, but I think it's just because I feel really guilty when I read now, just because I feel like I always have something else to be doing. So I cram a lot of my reading in during breaks between school, or like, you know, when we go to the beach on Fridays, or if I go to the pool or something in the morning. But no, this book definitely had me actually laughing, and it is Unhoneymooners, The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. So this is about two people who like absolutely do not get along, and they go to this wedding. And it's kind of sad because you'll see that tale of like the wedding kind of evolve, and that part is sad, but I loved these two together. They're dynamic. It's definitely enemies to lovers. And basically they go to this wedding, and it's her sister's wedding, if I recall correctly. And like his best friend's wedding, I don't think it's his brother's wedding. They're either the sister and brother or sister and friend. I can't tell you the truth, but they go to this wedding, and one of them doesn't eat seafood because they're allergic, and the other one, I forget why, they just don't eat it. And so they're the only people that don't get sick. And her sister is like super into getting like free stuff. So she like got a free honeymoon and doesn't want it to go to waste. And so they like go on this honeymoon for them. And it kind of reminds me of the movie Just Go With It, because they end up meeting these people that they know. One is like a boss, one is like an ex-girlfriend, and they kind of like fake date to when they're around these other people, and they go and they do all these excursions and stuff together. And like I said, it's enemies to lovers. I definitely was like laughing when I read this book. So if you are looking for a lighthearted, something definitely like a little quirky and fun, I feel like this is the perfect beach read. Definitely a pool day, read it in a day, easy read, good. It just makes you feel happy on the inside. And it's like, we just need more things like that in the world. So The Unhoneymooners, I love this book, and I think it is a great summer read. Last but not least, I feel like this book was written for me. I just feel like a book where there is like a person traveling, it's screaming my name. So my last summer recommendation is People We Meet on Vacation. I flipping love this book. Oh my God, I was obsessed with it. It's about these friends that go, they've been traveling, they take a trip together like all the time. They love to travel. Something happens, so we go back and forth in perspectives, back and forth in time. And we kind of like learn on each vacation. You like fall in love and you ship them together, and then something happens and you figure out what it was. And then, oh my God, the spice, it's got a little spice in it. Okay. I love a little spice in a book. I'm not afraid to admit it. Loved it. Enemies, I wouldn't say it's enemies to lovers, because it's like second chance romance. I feel like it's more second chance romance than enemies to lovers, because they loved each other at one point and they were really good friends. So this is a freaking great beach read. Could not recommend. Beach, pool, boat, plane, anywhere you are, in bed. If it's like you don't even want to go out in the sun, you don't have to. But I loved this book, which is why I'm saying, like, is beach read going to top this book? Because for me, getting to fall in love with this couple, getting to travel the world with them, like, it was everything and more, and I loved it. Could not recommend enough. So if you are looking for like a fun second chance romance that has like some traveling in it, definitely has like a summer kind of feel to it, then People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry is a great place to start. And you guys, I mean, short and sweet, we kind of just jumped right into everything, but that is going to go ahead and conclude my summer reading wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, a little pause in our usual content, but all of these books are phenomenal. I will go ahead and leave all of them in the description box below. Like you guys know, sometimes I can't link things because I'm just like technologically challenged. I don't understand how things work on the internet. But if you guys have read any of my to be read pile, definitely be sure to let me know what you thought of it so that I can kind of prioritize which ones to read first and which ones to save for last. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I will see you back next week. We are on our regular scheduled programming, a week in the life in nursing school. But I heart you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.